Hi, welcome to the Unchill podcast. How are you? Introduce yourself to everyone.
Hey Brad, how are you? How's your day? My name is Biyidan. I am a financial professional. What I do is I do financial planning for family and business and I help them to achieve their financial goals and dreams. That's what I do.
That's so
Yeah.
cool. How did you get started?
So basically because I got college degrees in finance, and naturally people will try to pursuing the job that in their professionalism once they finish the college, right? But before I started this job doing consulting, I was holding a job as a data scientist for finance industry. And it was a very interesting job. I enjoyed it. It was intellectually challenging. That's the part I love about it. But when I was doing that job, I just felt something was missing. And I took my time and really think into my choice when it comes to career. And I noticed that I think I really need a career that where I can receive recognition and appreciation after I put my effort in. I want to have a career where I can see the fruit of my labor more directly, right? That's the reason why I decided, okay, maybe it's time to stop holding this kind of data scientist job and it's time to move on or pivot to a different career path. That's how I reconnected with old acquaintance and she introduced me this opportunity from this company and I was like, okay, let me try. And after I give it a chance. I tried for maybe several months and I was talking to myself and I said, okay, I think this is something that I would do for a long term. And
That's so
that's the reason
cool.
why I started to do this job. Yes. And this pivoting in my career life was unexpected, to be honest,
Mhm.
but somehow it's realigned myself with my initial purpose from many years ago. I'm talking about the purpose that actually made me to decide to pursuing a degree in finance. Yes, and it has something with my childhood experience and how I witnessed my family putting everything they have into the business world and trying to start their own business and being entrepreneur by themselves. And I witnessed that them went through a lot of challenges when it comes to collecting fundings, and that's basically made me thinking that, okay, I want to do something that I can find a more efficient and easier solution that people can use when they want to start their own businesses. So they don't have to go through the same struggling path that my family went through. So the pivoting was correct. The pivoting was a wise choice because it realized my life with my initial purpose. Yes.
Yeah. Did your parents have phrases that they would say to you about money? I feel like every parent guides you to think about money in a certain way. Did your parents have certain things that they would be like, is it like, oh, you need to save every penny? Like, kind of like scarcity mindset? Or was it very much like money's easy to make? Like, what was kind of your growing up with money? Kind of, what did your parents teach you?
Wow. Okay, let me think about it. Yeah, I actually receive a lot of wisdom from my parents when it comes to managing my money. There is a slightly differences between my mom's perspective and my father's perspective. My father, my father, he's always saying, he always said to me, he was like, "Do you know why Jewish people are the richest, cultural group in this world? Do you know why they were able to build up their wealth? Like when you make $1,000, one third you put into your saving account, one third you use it for your living expense, and the rest of the one third you put it into the investments." Yeah, so that's like the rule of thumb that I've been using for so many years when it comes to managing my money. It's a little bit direct, but it's in general a very good mindset and saying that if you're making your own money, right? If you started to making your own money, 1/3 needs to be put somewhere that you have access to, but also liquid. That means you can touch it or use it for whatever the reasons, like emergencies or business expansions. You can use it whenever you want, right? And 1/3, of course, you're using for your living expense, because in this way you kind of, when you're not making that much, right, and you have to make sure the way you live are not too extravaganza living style, so it kind of forced people to stay within their budget or starting to spend time and think about how can I be strategic when it comes to budgeting, right? So that's the second benefit. The third benefit is, I think, is the growth mindset. The rest of the 1/3 that I need to put into the investment, because in Chinese culture, right? In Chinese culture, element for money is water, right? This is like basic knowledge. Like in the natural world, water can only stay fresh when it flows. So money is also like water. It can only generate more when you let it flow, when you let it to flow from one place to another place. It's like energy. It's like energy. If you have a pool of dead water that flows to nowhere, it will start to generate bacterium. It becomes stale and you cannot use it anymore. So that's the money mindset that my dad taught me when I grow up. And from my mom's side, she has more wisdom when it comes to budgeting, right? How can you, so when you're not making that much that allow you to afford a luxury lifestyle, how you spend your money and still be able to create happiness in your life before you spend it. Is it something you really really want, or is something you really really need? If you spend money on this, how long the satisfaction will last from this purchase? So that's the money mindsets that I learned from my parents.
Wait, I love that. I love both of your parents' like mindset because it's like very much like very like water flowing. I was like, that's like really good. Just thinking like you have to let it, you have to spend, earn, you have to have that flow of like money, not just keep it in your like underneath your bed forever. Just like the whole like staling, like it'll go bad. Like, oh, you'll forget about it. It's not making you more money. That's like such a brilliant concept. Also,
Yes,
like,
exactly.
how long will this purchase make you happy? Because sometimes, especially with our like so much consumerism right now is happening with, especially with like TikTok, Instagram, I'm always like something new is like popping up, makeup brands or whatever. I'm like, oh my God, I need this. But then it's like, if I bought it, it'd probably make me happy for like a day when it's like the novelty of you're using a new product. You're like, oh my God, this is so amazing. And then after a week, you're like, oh, I totally forget that I even have this. Like another new project is coming. Now I need this one. You're like caught in this. And I think just like thinking before you even purchase, like, okay, how long will this actually make me happy for? Is this something that I want for the long term? Like, is it an investment that will make me happy for years to come? Or is it just something that I just need because the internet is telling me this is the greatest thing to be invented
Yeah.
right now for this second. Like that's such a fascinating. But it's also the thing is like she's not even telling you not to buy it. She's just like to understand how important is it for you
Yes,
for your
exactly.
happiness.
Yes, exactly. It's basically like every penny that you spend on something, right? It needs to bring back some positive effect on you, over time. For example, we're a woman, we really put a lot of efforts in maintaining our looks, right?
Mhm.
I do the same thing, that's why I do my manicure and all of that. And it brings me mental satisfaction, right? And it also fulfill the purpose of me maintaining my appearance, because in my job, first impression is very important. So I kind of like indirectly contributing on my businesses,
Mhm.
because in this way I show myself as a person. I taking care of myself. I am very collected person and I'm very professional when I do my businesses. I don't look sloppy or something like that. Yes. So basically every penny of money that you spend out, it needs to bring back some form of good things back to you, either mental satisfaction, or you use it to, or you spend money on networking events that brings you back what? Connections with people,
Mhm.
right? Can be helpful regarding your life, or you regarding you doing your businesses. So that's the mindset behind those words from my mother, I think.
I love that. What are other things that help you perform the best? Like, do you have routines or like certain things you do before starting your day?
I think there are two things that helps me to become like the best version of myself. The first thing is uh I never allow myself to overwork towards the point that, oh my god, I burn myself, like I spend myself so much to the point that I go through a burnout. I got into this state that I'm not be able to working for a week completely because yeah, so this is the mindset that I use to keep reminding myself, because during the early stage of my career, of my job, right? And I am naturally a very competitive person. I might don't look like that or from outside, but deep down, I'm a very competitive person. So during the early stage of my career life, I would working very, very hard overtime continuously for like a week, even including the weekends, because I was so urged and rushed to create more results compared to my colleagues, because I crave recognitions. It's that's a way for me to feel fulfilled from my career. So that's what I was doing, and that was a very bad habit that got me into burnout from time to time. And I just got into this situation that, oh my god, like 1 week I was not be able to focus at all. I will keep getting late, I keep arrive late to my job because I was so burnt out, because I exuded all my energies. So over years of working experiences, and I learned this wisdom. It's like, okay, I can work very hard, but when I reach to the point that, okay, I feel a little bit tired, I feel a little bit tired than usual, then I will stop myself like actively, because once I stop myself, I give myself more space and time to recover. I do some self-care routines to make sure that my mind is balanced again and my physical energy goes back to this, healthy level. So in this way, I can keep working. I can keep working and contributing on my business for a long term without burning out. So that's the first thing that I started to implement, from stopping myself from like going through burnout. So in this way, I can have the optimal performance when I work and doing my businesses. Yes, that's the first thing. I think the second thing is reading and the meditation help me a lot. Every day before I go to bed, I will have 10 minutes of bedtime yoga. I do 10 minutes of bedtime yoga, helps me to relax physically and mentally. I will have an incense lit on, and after the yoga, I will do 15 minutes of meditation, to just calm myself down. And during the free time throughout the day, I started doing this. I started to stop myself from scrolling on social media, because it's a very big issue for everyone in this world right now. I take public transportation every day. All I see is the people stick their face on their screen. And to the point that I start to feel really sick about this phenomenon, because it's kind of scary, it's kind of scary when you see everyone is doing the same thing. So I started to read books again and started to learning new things. No matter philosophy books or biography books, I can always learn something and achieve this kind of like a mental peaceful status either before I start my day or before I go to some events and socializing with people. It just helps me to calm down, and at the same time I learn something new. So it really helps me to grow and calm myself at the same time. So yeah, that's two thing I do. Yeah.
It's amazing. During the workday, if you're getting like an email that really stresses you out, do you also like try to like do breathing techniques or do you do like a different technique during the day that helps you in like really stressful situations?
Okay, so I think when it comes to dealing with stress occasions that from work or doing businesses, especially for the people who needs to work in a corporate environment, I had this experience before. What I did was I will ignore the bad news for 30 minutes to 1 hour. Why? Because most of the time, when people receive bad news from their job, right, people's mentality get disrupted. You started to worry about it, or you start to get yourself really upset. And this is my own experience. I never make the right decision when I allow myself to trying to solve the problem after I receive the bad news, like immediately. So I learned this technique is just ignoring the messages for 30 minutes to 1 hour because it might appear urgent to you because it's bad news. But in realities, everyone, your colleagues, your boss, your managers, they have so much on their plate when it comes to work. This piece of information important to you, but it might not the priorities on their plate. So the response can wait. The response can wait. And we should take advantage from this response in time to calm ourselves down, like what you said, using some breathing techniques to calm yourself down. What I do is I will put my phone away. Just don't have any electronic devices or any access to that piece of message because if you have it, you'll keep looking at it,
Hmm.
right? So I basically just throw all the access to that bad piece of message. I will go to a quiet corner. It depends on what kind of environment you're in, so basically a very isolating environment. And I will meditating or do breathing techniques and just, or maybe take a nap for 30 minutes and just calm down. When I finish doing my technique, when I finish taking my nap and I wake up, then that's the moment I started to think about, okay, what should I do? What's the next step I should do? So the secret is don't ever respond right away because that's not a good response at all. That's physical reaction that get stimulated by that piece of bad information, and that will not lead people to the most suitable decision making at that moment. So I just ignoring it, do my thing, calm down, and get back to the bad news and think strategically what's the next step I need to do.
Yeah, I love that. I think that works with even like friends or family, like something that like triggers you. I'm such a quick, like, this is something I have to work on. I've been working on. Like, I'm such an impulse person where I'm like, oh my God, I need to fix this right away. And I feel like sometimes like the longer I wait, the more I'm like, oh my God, things are happening so quickly. Like, if I don't respond right now, then in 30 minutes, it's gonna be so different. Like, things are gonna, like, like whatever's gonna, like, 30 minutes is too long for me. And I think like over time, I've been like, okay, sometimes my response is always so angry. Like if I respond saying if you're like in an argument, it's always so angry, right? Because our nervous system is all like out of whack, and I'm like, oh my God, I need to respond. And then I like your thing of like just taking a step back because sometimes it's not really that big of a deal. It's just our body thinks it is. It's such a, in a fight or
Yes,
flight, right? We need
exactly.
to like do something about it.
Yeah.
And then I think it takes a lot of patience and practice to actually be able to like step away for 30 minutes because sometimes like it started with 5 minutes for me, like 15, like 20 minutes. Now I can like kind of like, distract myself. But in the beginning, it was impossible for me to do that. And like I would work with like therapists or like with my friends or family. I'm like to myself, like, bro, you need to stop doing that because it always would make me feel worse. Because, like, if we're in an argument and then, like, I react right away, obviously in a day or two, I'm gonna mess up. Like, I'm gonna say the wrong thing or something, and now it's worse. So, like, I like what you said, like, stepping back because then you can actually think clearly and it's not just your body reacting to the message. But I think what's even more impressive is doing it at the workplace because I think in a workplace, everything feels so urgent where it's like, you get like a task to do it. I feel like, especially when I was working, like everything, like you have to get it done now. There's no like wait time. So I really like you being like, no, I have my own boundaries when it comes to even work, where it's like, no, I need to take care of myself first before work because that's the only way I'm gonna show the best results for that. Like me just like doing it right away is not gonna help anybody. Like that's a great like I wish I knew this when I was working because I was like it would have helped me so much. But I don't think
Yeah,
that's very much taught
exactly.
in a workplace, which is why I think like in corporate, I feel like everything is they want you to feel that rush to get it done.
Oh, yeah, because in a corporate environment, there is a hierarchy structure in there, right? And the higher management, they definitely want to have, in general, control over the people that below them because they just I think this very toxic mindset. They believe this is the way to increase efficiency when it comes to doing business as a corporate. But the thing is, because the higher management have this need to increase the efficiency, they love the people who lack of boundaries because in this way they can use certain techniques to manipulate them to into reacting faster, doing things faster to fulfill their own needs. But the downside for people who, work in the environment is if you start to respond too fast with too much emotions, right? It's a sign of weakness on your mentality because other people will start to perceive you as like, okay, it's just a one piece of negative information. Why it's, cause such a chaos on you? Why you're not more stoic and have more poise? Yeah, so I think yeah, that's the reason why if you need to protect yourself and make sure that your mentality is well protected and healthy through the day that you're working in that environment, because in long term you will give people this image that okay, he or she is the person who can stay calm when the things going bad, and you will start to building this character of being reliable and trustworthy, and people can depend on you and rely on you when bad things happen. So you have the capability to maneuver or navigate through all the chaos without losing your poise. Yes.
I think it's
And
a
when it
very
comes to,
strong
yeah,
leadership skill.
yes,
It's such a
exactly.
leadership skill, yeah.
Exactly, exactly. No matter you're working in a corporate environment or you're doing your own businesses, it's just you have different audience. In corporate environment, you have your colleague, your manager, right? In business world, if you're entrepreneur, your audience is your clients.
Mm.
In both way, you need to start to practice and become this person that's trustworthy and be able to become when we are in a dire situation. And earlier you mentioned that reacting right away and a response in the heat moments of argument with your families, and that I think the capability of being able to stay calm is very important because the people you're dealing with is your family. That's the group of people you care about the most in this world, and the words carry power. Words have, and if you say something that very hurtful in the middle of the heat of the argument, you're risking hurting them. You're risking hurting the group of people that you love and care the most. Right. And sometimes, like you said, it might not be a big deal. If you step away for 30 minutes and you calm yourself down and come back, you might be able to solve all the conflicts with a very peaceful conversation instead of you're getting knowing where arguing with them, and at the same time you said something that you really didn't mean to and you hurt them. Yeah. So no matter in the family or in the working situations, be able to step away and just breathe is very important, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Something that really helps me like process my emotion has been journaling and
Hmm.
this thing where I just like brain dump in the morning and like everything that's in my mind. And I just think like having a process of doing that, whether it be like reading, writing it out, or like talking to somebody, it kind of stops it from building up. So just by doing this, I've never been a journal person, but I read of like, just doing a brain dump every morning. It just relieves so much of my anxiety. Where it's like, if you were to give me a bad news, I don't have all the other stuff piled in my brain that it feels like, oh my God, this is too much. It's like a relief that I'm like, okay, one bad news. It's like, okay, my brain is clear. So it's just one bad news. So like, I feel better. And I think this helps me just like, even have like better conversations with people. Like if I'm thinking about something over and over and over again, I'm like, okay, I'm writing about this daily about conversation, just like, okay, now I need to have this conversation with so and so because it's taking up too much space in my brain. Or sometimes it's like, okay, you're pissed about something, but like you forget about it. You're like, okay, this is not really a conversation need to be happening because it's like whatever. So I think having certain routines or having ways to relieve your anxiety is such an important skill to have that really just like builds you up in like career wise. Like this is such like you being posed or like calm is such a strong leadership quality that I've learned because no people want to know who can attack the fire without feeling like the whole house is like the people who are panicking are like the kind of the people who like pisses everyone off. Like, you know what I mean? Like the one who's like the most anxiety, like like shaking. It's like, okay, get it together, relax, like everything's fine. But the ones who are like, oh, this is all good. Don't worry, we know what the to do. Oh, like the people we everyone looks up to.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. You know, to be honest, it's very interesting. So when I was a kid, I'm Chinese. I was born and raised in China. When I was growing up, I absolutely hated journaling because back then when you were kids, you don't carry too much stress and thoughts in your mind on daily basis. So you didn't really like I didn't really have the purpose or the needs to journaling on daily basis, right? All the journaling was, assigned to me as a form of homework.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I never enjoyed it.
Mhm.
Until I hit my early 20s, I started to live my own life as adult, romantic relationship, working connection, all the issues and the family issues because now I'm adult and family members stop to holding back on bad news or family issues from me. I start to participate into all the family talks and all of that. So yeah, I started to have more stress, more mental stress in my mind, and that's when I kind of just get pushed to the point that, oh, maybe I should find a way to really, become a good and healthy release. And I watched so many videos from social media from different psychologists, and they were saying journaling, journaling, journaling. And it actually took a long time for me to buy that, notebook and really pick up my pen and start to journaling because of the bad experience I had when I was a kid. And yeah, and so this one is my current book, like a journal
Yeah.
book. Yeah, I have it. Like you, I don't journal every day these recent years, but maybe 2 or 3 times throughout the week. So what I'm thinking about the journaling is because journaling requires writing, right? When you're writing everything down, it's way slower than you speak those thoughts out. So it kind of train your body to release the stress in a prolonged way. So in this way, you release your mental stress in a prolonged way. Over time, your mind become more resilient to holding the bad information. That's the first thing. The second thing is it still allows you to release all the negativity in your mind. But in the middle of writing, because you constantly looking everything you write down. At least for me, my mind started to transitioning from the mode of panicking into the mode of being logical
Hmm.
during the process. It's like if you can imagine a picture of brain, it's like a red, very red and hot and flaming before I pick up my pen. And over time, it's like cooling down. The more you write it, the more cooling down. The color change from red to green. Yes, so I think that's why journaling is very important and healing, because it allows you to take the trash out of your brain. And so in this way, you make space for logic and the rationality to kick in. That's when the moment that, okay, I started to calm down. I started to think about what's the solution instead of focusing on the problem. Yes.
I do that too. I'll be writing. It's so funny. I go from I feel like this to Pratt, you need to do this. Like I will be literally like coaching myself through my problems. Well, I'll be like talking about something like like ranting, and then it'll just be like, wait, hold on a second. I'll literally be like, you need to start doing this. Like this is not okay. Like what are you talking about? Like just coaching myself through it, and it's so funny because I go from I talking about I to like Pratt. Pratt, what are you talking about? And it's just like it's just such a way to also build trust because something it's like just talking to yourself, be like, no, I'm gonna work through it myself, and just like that, just over time builds trust with myself because I'm like, I'm not asking for other people for advice. I already have the skills that I have. And I feel like sometimes those are so needed in tough situations. Like, no, I trust myself to figure out whatever's happening at work. I trust myself to figure out whatever's happening with friends. I trust myself to figure it out because I have those skills. And I think just like journaling or these like coping mechanisms are so important to build confidence. Like that's really what helped me over time with my anxiety. I'm like, no, I can figure out anything I need to figure out. Like I've already figured it out before. I feel like sometimes the stress or anxiety comes from not thinking you're capable of doing it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because when you don't trust yourself, have the capability to solve the things, your whole body and your whole mind is stuck in that moment. It's like, oh my God, I cannot solve this. I cannot solve this. Your mind is filled up with anxiety. There is no space for logic and rationality. So you will never got into the point that, okay, maybe it's time to just take the whole thing apart and do analysis and find solutions. So I completely agree with you. When we're writing, I do this thing sometimes too. I believe I have the capability, da 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 da. Just use this very positive, affirming way of writing, because the more you do it, the more you look at it, the deeper the impression those words will get into your brain. Because I think we can relate to each other, because I'm Chinese, you're from Indian families. We both have Asian parents. And I noticed this similarities like share between Asian, like Chinese culture and Indian culture is both cultures, the parents want their kids to be very outstanding when it comes to academic achievements, right? Because oh, you need to become an engineer, you need to become a banker, do investment, or you being a doctor, right? Or a computer scientist. So the choice is very limited and the pressure is like so much. Yeah. So that's just naturally make our parents adapt the habit of nagging on us when we grow up. They definitely mean the best for us, but the way they approach those issues and the way they raise us, not very healthy, can be considered toxic from time to time, because they want the best for us like so bad. So the sometimes it blinds their eyes and they only focus on our shortcomings, and that they keep pointing at us like, hey, like you need to improve on these things, and then you need to stop doing something like that. And over time we will start to have a negative monologue inside of ourselves. And over years of conditioning in this kind of nagging, I noticed that a lot of people don't even have the awareness that, okay, I talk to myself in a very negative way. I still do that from time to times. Sometimes I make a mistake, a careless mistake that I could avoid from the very beginning, but I didn't. For some reason, I made that mistake. Oh, I will talk to myself like, oh my God, you were so stupid. I will say that to myself. And years ago, I never thought saying I'm stupid to myself is an issue until recent years. I started like, why I talk to myself in such a way? Because I noticed I have patience and I definitely have patience when my friends or my parents did something so stupid or obviously innocent mistake. I will never talk to them like that. I will always have patience to them. It's like, hey, okay, you didn't mean to do this. You didn't do it on purpose. And everyone make mistakes. But when it comes to myself, I talk to me in a very negative way. Yeah. And I started to, connecting the dots. It's like why I talk to myself in this way. And I have more patience to the people that are around me. It doesn't make sense. So once I noticed this pattern, I started to be more aware of my words when I feel frustrated towards myself. So that definitely helped me to change my negative inner monologue into a more positive one. Yes.
I love that. Are there people who've told you these words? Sometimes I had my therapist told me like whenever I having like I'd be like in my zone where I'm like criticizing the heck out of myself, and she goes, "Okay, who told you this? Like in your past, who have said these exact words to you?" And they're friends, their my parents, my sister, like words I've heard my whole life that
Teachers from
I
your school.
from school, from like middle school, someone said something who does I don't even talk to anymore. Like it's like those words, and she made me write it down. She was like, "Okay, write down all the names of these people," and it's like mom, dad, sister, friend, random people, my work people. And it's like, and then she was like, get them out of your head because that's not you. Like, you're not saying it's all these people who said this to you that you internalize as your identity now, that you're stupid, you don't know what you're doing, like, you have no future, like, all these things that people say without realizing how hurtful they are. And it just like sticks to you. And now I think that I am this person. Whenever I'm doing a stupid mistake, I'll say like, you're never gonna make it. Like this is the end. Like this is who you are now. It's just like, but we don't realize it until like you constantly you have to catch yourself and be like, wait a second, this is not even serving me at all. Like how this is not benefiting me. By calling me stupid, I don't become smarter. Like just like what's the point of this? In the end, you're just gonna feel worse and worse and worse. But I
Yeah,
like how what do you do when how do you catch yourself? Or is there something like when you make a mistake now? Is there things that you say that are opposite? Like, no, hey, this is just a mistake. It's not a big deal. It's okay. Or like, what goes on in your brain now?
okay. So the first thing is definitely comforting myself
Yeah.
when I realize that, hey, I make a mistake, right? Because when the moment that you realize you made a mistake, it's the same thing as you receive that piece of bad information. We had that conversation several minutes ago,
Mhm.
like how you react when you receive bad information. I think it's the same thing, it's only the bad information is, hey, you make a mistake. That's it. So, yeah, the first thing is always comforting myself and talk to myself in a very considerate way, just telling myself it's like, hey, I made this mistake. Okay, no problem. I'm a human being. Okay, I'm human being. I'm living in this world for the purpose of making mistakes, right? Because every time you make mistakes, there is a reason why you make mistakes. So you can always learn from making these mistakes. It's either two things. You make an old mistakes that tells you there might be some underlying issues or mindset problems that you haven't straightened it out. That's the reason why you make the repeated mistakes over and over and over again. That's one thing. The second thing is you make a new mistake. You make a new mistake is like, oh, It's just telling you that there's something new that you never aware of, you'll never realize before. But now this mistakes is telling you there's something new issue that you need to work on. So either way, it tells you something that you can work on. So you can always, people can always learn from this occasion. But the first step is always comforting yourself. So forgive yourself. Talk to yourself in a warm way, in a forgiving way, so you can calm down. Once, like for me, once I calm down, I take out my journaling book or take a piece of paper and start to write, start to take the parts away and do analysis. Just very, very quick, like 5 minutes. This is an old mistake or is a new mistake, right? What I was thinking when I made this decision that caused this mistake. In the middle of writing, you will figure out, oh, this is the old issue or something new that I need to work on. So yeah. So the first step is always forgive yourself. At least try, at least try.
How do you allow yourself to fail a lot? Now that you're starting your own business, do you have a way of like starting business, like you have to be really risk oriented, like very much willing to like fail. How
Hmm.
you said you're competitive. So how does that when you are failing, do you feel that like, oh my God, I'm not good enough because of this competitive like energy you have that like does it stop you from making mistakes? Like are you kind of like just like
Yes, I completely understand what you're saying right now. Because I think for anyone, if you hit several small failures in a row over a period of time, you haven't get that win that makes you proud of yourself. And of course, naturally, you'll feel very disappointed to yourself and you're feeling very down. I think that's the moment where the value of having a mentor, having someone who have the similar experience as what we have, but already have years of experience in this field is very important because especially working and creating the business as an entrepreneur, we sacrifice stability for exchange of more possibility of achieve, higher level of being successful, right? And yeah, it's that's a trade-off between stability, a stable paycheck over a lot of good things, but at the same time is also bad things, is uncertainty of your clients reactions, uncertainties of your paycheck, uncertainty of can I fill my plates towards the end of this week. Yes, so that's why since I was in college, I have been actively seeking mentorship from the people, either my professors or older students or people that I met at networking events, industrial professionals. I have been doing so because our capability of comforting ourselves and adjusting our mindset is very limited. You can only do to a certain point, but of course this capability will grow over time. Sometimes you will reach the limit that, okay, I cannot really resolve this uncomfortable feelings stuck inside of me anymore. I need to talk to someone. So that's when the value of having a mentor shows up, because he or she already went through the path that you're currently walking and exploring. So talking to your mentor and getting advice, or just sometimes just hearing that affirmation that given by someone you admire too, you will regain your confidence. Yeah, you will regain your confidence. I think deep down, the people who work as entrepreneur, especially they still during the early stage of exploring how to put their business together, we always overly focus on the being independent as an entrepreneur, because like, oh, we're running our own businesses, we're acquiring our own clients, we do everything by ourselves. I can do everything by myself. But in reality is no, Entrepreneurship is about a collaboration in all different way. You collaborate with your mentor, so you and him and you and her can supporting each other. You collaborate with your clients, so you and your clients can support each other. And you collaborate with other business owners, so both of you can helping each other. It's the sense of creating a expanding community that everyone share the mindset. We help each other to build each other up, instead of I just isolate myself because I can achieve everything by myself. It's impossible. It's impossible. So yeah, so that's I think that's a underlying wrong mindset when people talk about entrepreneurship, because this you do everything by yourself, you'll be okay. No, the reality is not like that. Entrepreneurship is about being independent, use your own capability to solve the problem as much as you can, but at the same time, know when it is the right time to ask help from other perfect. Build up a community where everyone can benefit from this network.
Something that I really struggle with entrepreneurship is this whole hustle culture. And I'm sure you know where exactly where we're going with this.
Yeah.
You and I go to so many networking like collaborations, all that we're about. But something that really gets it's uninspiring is the word for me, or
Mhm.
exhaust me, is this whole like grind energy, and not, like what you said before, like the balance of like, I need to read, I need to have my morning routine, I need to have my night routine to be able to be productive and not burn out. But I feel like sometimes the rhetoric of entrepreneurship is just work. Like you just need to work as hard as possible to get the results. How do you, I guess, keep your calm when you're going into networking events? And this is kind of what you constantly hear.
I can resonate with you that not feeling so good about this hustling culture. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of this hustling culture too. I think this is the wrong impression that all those Instagram influencer or social media people that they're trying to create to the general audience. Like for me, if you start to working on your own, start to build on your own businesses, like everyone, consistency is definitely a fundamental requirement. But the thing is, how to make sure the effort that we put into consistency that actually bring out the desirable results without burning us out, right? I think that's the question that every business owners need to think about it. This is what I do. So I do financial planning, I do consultation, right? So client acquisition is solely depends on me. Solely depends on me. But in this situation, I also have the freedom to decide in what kind of way I got access to more people. So if we go to a networking event, there are 10 networking events on the list. You'll find out there are 10 networking events on the list. For me, I will choose the networking event that I'm actually like sincerely interested in. Personally, I'm very into fine arts. I grew up with my uncle teaching me do different form of arts, oil paintings, sketching, watercolor, everything you can think of it, because he's an independent artist, and I happen to have gift in making arts. Yeah, so over the years, I always have passion for arts. When I first starting to running my business, doing financial planning, do consultation, I kind of adapted into the hustling culture. I go to every single events. I probably went to like events for IT people that I know nothing about it. I go to the events held by the real estate agencies. I did get some connection from those events, but I definitely didn't enjoy those events as much as I enjoyed into the events that I really interested in. So now when it comes to going networking events, I go to entrepreneur mixers. because I got the opportunity to talk to other entrepreneurs and learning their mindsets. Because this way, I'm connected to the like-minded people, right? They might need my services. They definitely need my services anyway. So I got mental fulfillment in the middle of doing my job. So it's like I'm making money, but at the same time, I'm having fun because I got talk to the people who adapt the same mindset. It's comfortable. It's comfortable. And I go to gallery openings or gallery events. Why? Because the people going there, they need my service. That's the first. And second of all, we both love arts. We can talk about arts, not only stick to businesses. We can talk about arts. We can talk about something we're passionate about. So yeah, this is one example how I balance between being consistent but also be able to have fun when I do my job. So, yes, we have freedom when it comes to choose how to work, how to build our businesses. And we can definitely hustle. We can hustle in a healthy way. We can hustle in a way that's more organic, that's more efficient, even because when you trying to acquire people that might want your services, the most important thing is build a connection, right? What can be better than you connect the people on something that you really resonate with? No other way. Yeah. So that's my answer.
Yeah, I
That's
love that. That's really good. I'm like learning it now because I was very deep into personal development for a year now. And there's certain events I feel very inspired by, and then
Mhm.
there's certain events that the exact opposite happens for me, where I just feel
Yeah.
so overwhelmed and I'm just not good enough. Like the underlying is like, oh, I just feel so unworthy right now because I'm just never going to be doing enough. The amount that I'm supposed to be doing is just not possible for me. So I leave like, okay, well, I should just give up now. But then there's times when I've been more observant about how I feel after an event, and that's how I know, these are the people for me, or these are the
Uh-huh.
people who are like, maybe not like-minded, right? Just because we're all entrepreneurship doesn't mean we're all like-minded. Some people are different, the way they do business is way different, or their capabilities are different. And I feel like I've been more I guess like exclusive with my time. And that's such a
Mhm.
privilege to be able to do that. Like that's such a great skill to have. Being like, okay, these are the events I want to go to because I'm going to enjoy it. Plus, it benefits my business. It's not just I have to do it because everyone's telling me to go to 20 networking events every week because if I'm not doing that, then I'm not good enough. Like being able to do it for yourself, that takes a lot of self-awareness. And
Mhm.
I think like very recently that I was being more self-aware with my time and my energy because it's not all networking events are not like all the same. And I think it's a good skill to have and be like, okay, this is worth my time. Another question I want to ask you is like, what would you tell your younger self?
What would I tell my younger self? If I can talk to the younger version of myself, I probably going to say that you're enough and that there's nothing wrong with your outspoken personality and you're pretty. That's
Love
something
that.
I would say to myself. Yes, yes, because yeah, there are reasons. When I grow up as a kid, right? Because I'm 5'7", I'm 5'7". I can be characterized as the tall girls when I grow up because I always sitting towards the back of the classroom. I always hang out with the tall kids and whatever people call them. My personality is more, how to say that, I'm going to say more gentle and more considerate. But when I was a kid, when I was a little girl, I was very fierce and outspoken and direct. I was like a tomboy,
Mm.
right? I was a tomboy when I grow up. So I receive these comments from everyone around me, my parents, other family members, my classmates, my friends, and they're always saying, "Oh yeah, like Biyidan, you're you're a nice person, but you're just not very ladylike. You're too outgoing and you're not, I'm not gonna use that word, but I'm going to use it anyway. You're not docile enough, because in Chinese culture, the standard for woman who supposed to be, you're very gentle, you're very inverted, like personality wise. You need to talk like this and move like that. You cannot like be very outspoken and then just speak your minds all the time, because that's considered as unattractive or not ladylike, right? And then compared to average Chinese girls when I grew up, I'm kind of like, I considered as like overweight or big size. So when I grow up, I never receive positive comments from the boys. They always say, "Oh, you're cool, but only cool as a friend. If I want a girlfriend, I will never take you because you're not." The Chinese people use that word 小鸟依人. It means, oh, the lady is so gentle and so feminine. It's like a little bird, like laying on the shoulder of you. That's give you a more accurate impression about how the Chinese culture's standards when it comes to ladies like women. I grew up with people telling me I'm not ladylike or I'm not feminine enough according to, or I'm not pretty enough according to their beauty standards or culture standards. Those comments, when I was a kid, I didn't care that much a lot. It might make me upset for a short period of time, but I always forget about it. But until I get into my early 20s, I become adult and start to live in my life. I moved from China to United States. I started to receive compliments from men, And at the very beginning, I thought they're not serious. I thought they're not serious, and then I had several conversations, similar conversation with different guys who show romantic interest in me. I was like, are you serious? Like, do you really think, like, consider me as attractive? Because I grew up with people telling me the quite opposite. The quite opposite. I wasn't feeling upset. I was just purely in disbelief. And they're saying, yeah, you're actually very attractive. Like, what are you talking about? You're not fat. You're not overweight. And that moment I realized that, wow, the cultural beauty standard is actually very limited. It's not very inclusive. I didn't really have to change myself in certain way to fit into the images that people want to put me in. Yeah. And it took me like a certain period of time to start to realize and accept the fact that I'm actually very desired by the general societies. It's just the fact that I need to go to somewhere that people actually appreciate me more, appreciate my personalities, appreciate my fierceness, appreciate the way that I move and I talk. Yeah. So yeah, so if I can say something to the younger myself, I'll tell her, it's like, hey, you're not going to work and live in this country when you grow up. You're moving somewhere else. So yeah, you are pretty and you have a great personality, and I'm very proud of you, and you are enough.
Oh,
Yes.
that's amazing. It probably took you a lot time to get there because I feel like even if it didn't bother you, I feel like it's something that you felt like you just didn't deserve. Like, okay, everyone else has relationships, everyone has all of these stuff, or getting complimented. That's just not for me. But then I'm sure like at one point you're like, wait a second. No, I do deserve this too. I am beautiful. I am gorgeous. People do think I'm attractive. But it's just so funny that maybe the first person who told you we were pretty, you're like, what? What do you mean? Like, that's just like, I've just like, that's so sad though. Like, you're beautiful. You're
Yeah.
absolutely gorgeous. But just, like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I was like, stop lying to my face. Like, the audacity lying to me in my face. Like, what are you talking about? Did you lose your mind or something? Yeah, it definitely took certain amount of interactions with other people, and really it takes some time to really get comfortable discussing a beauty and attractiveness with people, to really start to flipping the statement that in my mind, because I grew up like the first 20 years of my life, I got conditioned and marinated with those words. It's not easy to change them overnight.
In your family, do your parents compliment you about looks? Because my parents don't. I like realized this like probably like 5 years ago. Like when you're all dressed up, I have like my makeup done or whatever. I'm like, oh, I don't get complimented for this stuff. Or like, it's always like the op. I don't know if you feel like the opposite effect when it comes to like makeup or dressing up. Like, oh, why are you so dressed up? Like if I was like going to go to friends, they're like, why do you have so much makeup on? Or like, why are you so dressed up? And it's like it was such a weird thing because then when you're like with friends or your colleagues, like everyone compliments you. You're like, oh my God, I love your
Oh
makeup.
yeah.
Well, like I love that.
Yes.
And then like for like the longest time, I always thought like makeup was like unattractive. Like, oh, if I have a lot of makeup on, like it's because I'm not pretty or I'm insecure about myself because it's like how my parents always thought makeup was. Or like I'm really dressed up, like, oh, why are you trying to get so much attention to yourself? And it's just like such a like even now, like whenever I'm like dressed up, I always like be like, what are they gonna say? Like I always expect like the opposite reaction of what I going to get because I expect to be like, oh my God, you look so pretty. Like, oh my God, you look so nice. But it's just like not something that I've been like raised with. How like growing up, if you're like all like dressed up or like wear makeup, like what was that for you?
Okay, so I think there are many, many reasons why parents reacting very differently from your expectations when we doll up. I think there's like two reasons. The first reason is, I think both in Chinese, especially in Asian cultures in general. If you watch some movies made by Asian countries, it's like if this girl is smart, she's definitely not good looking.
Mm,
If this girl is good looking, then she's definitely dumb. Even in American movies, like they portrayed, we call dumb.
yeah.
If you're blonde and you're very pretty, you doll up, that means you probably have a airhead. You don't have anything there. I think it's just I think it's the wrong way of society to portray women. It's like you can choose between being beautiful and attractive, or you can be smart. People never think it's possible for one woman to have both. You
Mhm.
have appearance, beauty, and you also have inner beauty, your intelligence. Yes. And especially for our parents when they grow up, like this kind of a thinking, this kind of mindset is even more, heavy on them. That's just something that they're used to. That's just something that they're used to. And when they see us doll up and they're saying, "Oh my God, you dolling yourself up, and but you're a smart girl." It looks like if you doll yourself up, when you walk out there, people will think you're dumb, right? So I think it's like a projection of their own beliefs, that first of all, and second of all, there's definitely some elements tipped in, like they consider, like they worry about people looking down on you intellectually because how you look outside. Yes, but I also came across with some of my friends, their parents, they don't just very subtle touch on the conversation. They're not only give you like a gentle comments, like a why you dolling yourself up. Some of them receive very negative comments from their parents. I think for those, like in those situations, I think their parents just projecting their insecurities. Yes. Because when I grew up, my mom, she is a person that she definitely put efforts into her lookings, makeups and the beautiful clothes, she always do her hairs. Since I can remember, everything, she's always do those things, taking care of herself. The only conflicts I had with her is sometimes she will say, "Oh, like your clothes is too revealing, or your clothes makes you look older than your actual age," right? But I don't think that's a negative projection because she doesn't take care of herself. I think she was just being a mother to me, because no matter how old I get, I'm still her baby. And she always wanting me to look younger, look more energetic, and start to appreciate my natural beauty instead of put a lot of heavy makeups on me. And she wants me to wear it not so revealing, because she don't want me to become a target from the male gaze. But for the woman, for the fellow woman who receive very, very negative comments from their parents when they start to put efforts in their appearance, even insulting, comments from their parents, I think it's just the fact that the parents never live a life, have the chances to put effort in themselves. So they don't really understand, and the kind of jealous of their kids who have the chance and opportunity to take care of themselves. So they got triggered by this behavior, and they say something like very bad, very insulting. But it has nothing to do with us. It has nothing to do with the person who received the comments. It has everything to do with the person who gave the comment.
Yeah, I totally agree with a lot of that. One thing is they just don't know. Like for my mom, like sometimes she'll like look at my makeup, she's like, I just don't know what this is. Like she'll be like, what does this do? What does this do? And it's just like I'm so used to it, right? Like foundation, concealer, like I have the whole thing. And then she'll be like, you have so much makeup. And I'm like, but she just doesn't know that, certain things are for certain parts. Or like, you know what I mean? Like this goes here, there's a lot of things to cover. And it's just not be I used to be so offended. I used to be so and like the remarks would be so much like, oh my god, you wear so much makeup, you wear so much makeup since when I was little. But it was just a way that I was like it just brought me so much happiness. Like it was the way like I would just like be an artist. Or like, oh, this is how I can create a log. I would practice it and then watch videos on it. It just brought me so much joy. And for
Mhm.
someone to like kind of be like, I totally agree with like, oh, you probably are dumb if you wear makeup. Like I'm sure that I never actually thought about that. That's kind of something that like I'm learning now. Like, oh, maybe they did think that. But I always thought like, oh, people who maybe they thought people who wear makeup are kind of like self-absorbed. Oh, they take too much time caring so much about their looks instead of caring about like education or like you could spend your time better. Like you spend an hour wearing makeup, that's an hour you just wasted. I would always get those type of comments. But the intelligence is such a big one because I also think in movies it's like the smart people wear glasses. They don't really know how to
Yes.
dress up. Kind of like ballast, like they fall. Like, like smart people are kind of like portrayed in that way. Like they're not very good at communicating with people, very introverted. They're not like the popular people are usually like the dumb ones, like mean girls. Like you think they're like the
Yeah.
really stupid people
Yeah.
of the school. So that's so interesting. I wonder, I'm sure like when we have kids or whatever, it's gonna be so different. I'm really interested how like the next generation is gonna be when it comes
Yeah.
to all of these things. Like I even think about sometimes like, am I gonna be okay with like how old would I be okay with my kid wearing makeup? And it's gonna be very young. Like I don't really care. Like I love watching videos of like she's like 3 years old wearing makeup and just like practicing. Like I think it's just so adorable. But like I wasn't allowed to wear makeup until like I think eighth grade. That I was like, and I was like the only girl. Like I was like me and like three other girls in my middle school who wore makeup, and it was like the most bizarre thing that I wore like eyeliner and mascara. And now like I do everything.
I know, yeah. So this is my own experience. I remember like when I just got into college, because if you were born and raised in China, you are not really allowed to wear any kind of makeup. You're
Mhm.
not even allowed to let your hair down if you have very long hair. So like girls are only allowed to do so once you got into college. Like once you got into college, it's all freedom. You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. So I started to put time into study how like makeup once I got into college. And there was a definitely a period of time, I don't know, 17, the makeup trend back then
Yes.
is like very heavy, like you're baking and all of that. So yeah, so I was like that during that period of time. And I also received the same comments from my mother, and she's like, "Oh my God, like the eyeshadow is too heavy on you. Like you put too much on it and your face look cakey and you look older." At the very beginning, I took it as I took the comments in a very negative way. I was like, why you have to say something about what I do? I want to look at it like this way. This is trendy. That's the reason why I want to look at it this way. And at the same time, I was like, I'm exploring. Just let me practice. I want to try this for one day because I'm going to like a gathering with my high school classmates. It's like a gathering after graduation or whatever the occasion was. I was just like, I just want to do that. So for today, okay, it's my outfit. I want to match my outfits and whatever. I don't really care how people perceive me if I wear too much makeup or not enough makeup. I just want to experiment. I just want to experiment and see how I feel when I go out to look like this. How people give, what kind of feedback I receive from people. I want to experiment, have this experience, okay? And over time, because I don't want to receive this kind of comments anymore. So what I started to do is every time when I do makeup and my mom would sit next to me watching me doing makeup and then she will give me advice and then this is less of like pros and starting to because I was starting to I want her to stop talking. So, and I said, can you stop talking? But if I ask her to stop talking, she will get upset. She will talk more. I just want you to look pretty and da, 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 da. So what I started to do is I started to including her when I do my makeup. I was start to ask her question. I was like, okay, so if you do this makeup on your face, like, how do you want it to look like? You like a less eyeshadow, more lipsticks? I will ask her question to start to including her into the makeup process. And to the point that I started to offer is like, hey, do you want to try this product that I bought? Is for, I don't know, concealer or blush. It looks really good. Try, why not? So that's how I kind of ease her into my makeup process. And she started to have fun. And she started to have less comments on me. And she started to feel happier too. Because she started to feel like, okay, I'm actually included by my daughter when she's doing something instead of just eye watching. So when you share your experience and saying that every time you do your makeup, your mom would look so first of like not understanding enough and also a lot of confusions. I think maybe next time you can try to including her, just to have this conversation. It's like just ask her just out of nowhere. It's like, hey, do you want to try this? Do you want to try this just a little bit? She might say, oh no no no, I don't want to do this kind of thing. I'm not like you. But I think there is a part of the reason why they focus on us when we do makeup is because maybe deep down they also want to feel pretty. Yeah, but their parents, they are too tied up with their role in the family, so they're a little bit shy from showing their true desires, or maybe they don't even have enough awareness about what they want. Yeah.
That's so true. I mean now I play around with my mom with like makeup and everything. Like I'll like have fun with her. Like when we're going out, like, oh, I'll do your makeup. And like I see a huge difference. Like just in the way she acts and the way she presents herself, it's massive. It's massive. Like my mom's very introverted, but when she is like has full, she will talk to everybody. She'll make like it's such a switch. And I think it's for myself too. Like I feel like when I'm like, put together and like, feel confident, I do want to talk to everyone. I do want to be seen. But there's the days when I'm like, in a rush, I'm like, oh my God, crap, like I don't like look good. Like I'm like put to the side. Like I'm like, I don't want anyone to look at me. I don't really want to take pictures. I just want to like listen and then head out real quick because I just don't feel good. Like it really does affect my energy so much. Being like, okay, I know exactly how I look like and I'm ready to like make videos. I'm ready to talk to people. I'm ready to like introduce myself. I just get so
Yeah.
confident from it. And
Yes.
I was like doing that in college because in college like everyone like like you don't really wear makeup. Like sometimes I was like so in a rush, I wouldn't wear makeup, and I got into that habit of like not wearing makeup, and it really affected me so much that I'd be like, wait, you're not. This is a self care, right? This is of you just like stepping away from all the noise. You put some music on and you just do it, and you kind of just relieve the stress, and you just feel so good.
Yes, exactly. I think people think too much into make like people like women doing makeup, especially a lot of men will say, "Oh, you're doing makeup because you want to become the center of the attention." Not necessarily, sometimes I want to, sometimes I don't. I just doing it because it's therapeutic. I will put my music on, do my makeup, have the small opportunity to be creative about my appearance. Yes, and I think people should think all behaviors in a more natural way. Like what I'm thinking is why people eat healthy? Because over time, it makes your body feel good, right? Very simple. Why people go to the gym? Because over time, you relieve your mind and you get healthier. You feel good in a certain way. It's the same thing with makeup. Why you do your makeup? Because it's a therapeutic moment that allow me to express my creativity. And I feel confident after doing so. It's just purely feeling good. I think people should start to looking at everything in their lives without the filter of social standards. It's not that complicated. People doing things just because it feels good. Yes, just
100%.
take the judgments out of the pictures. It's not always for whom and whom.
Yeah.
It's for the sake of ourselves.
It's so funny you say that because I think there's a lot of like I think we talked about there's so much criticism online for everything. I made a video and I'm wearing like very light blush, like Barbie pink blush, and then I got so much like one person hated it, like absolutely hated that I was wearing this blush. She commented like 10 times about how bad I look, how it was a disservice to the community, how
What?
I'm trying to make a statement for like brown girls, but like it's really doing a disservice for brown girls. How I should never wear it again. Like went on and on and on. That like she's like, I'm not even trying to be colorist. Like it just doesn't look good. And it just like it's just so funny because everyone's mad at you for everything. And it just shows me like when you're willing to put yourself
Yeah.
out there, people are gonna care even the color of your freaking blush or like what you're wearing. And I like had to just like I mean it was such a simple like hate comment for me to just laugh because it has nothing to do with myself. Like I wasn't like offended, but it's just like because I'm like, what am I supposed to do with that? Like, okay.
I'm probably thinking about why, what made you feel the need to even say this to me? It's like, what's the point of this comment? Do you
I
think I really care about it? People giving out comments because, oh, I disagree this, I don't agree with this, I think this is. I don't do this for the sake of you. I do this for the sake of me. I like Barbie pink blush on me, and I do it anyway. And you say it doesn't look good and I will stop doing so? No, I'm gonna keep doing it. Next time I'm gonna make it even darker and even pinker, just to piss you off.
that's exactly the way it started was I was wearing a blush and it was like me just talking and she commented saying you don't look like this color does not look good on you. So I made another video with just wearing the blush
But yeah.
and I didn't say anything. I was just wearing it. And she got so pissed. She goes, I don't know what you think you're doing, but like it doesn't look like so triggered. And it makes me laugh because it's like it just shows how first of all we think we have control of other people about everything that they're doing and we try to be like I don't like what you're doing so I have to make it known that I don't like what you're doing so you change it because it's
Yeah.
like an ego thing. I 100% it's an ego thing. I also think this person doesn't know what to do with her life.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just
Yeah.
like when you put yourself out there, especially when it comes to like personal appearance, wearing like clothing that way to express yourself, it's like a way to just show that I'm worthy to show what I enjoy doing and that
Exactly.
self-expression. I really do think it's just like loving yourself to be able to be like, I don't even care if people hate the way I look or people don't like my outfit. I do it because I love myself and I'm going to do what I love to do. And it's just
Exactly.
it's such a practice because there's going to be like there's going to be like people on the internet or like even in person. I'm like, I don't really like this. And you kind of just have to be like, okay, do I care about their opinion or do I care about my opinion and the reason why I'm doing this?
Exactly. And especially we started to running our businesses as our own business owners, as an entrepreneur. It's very important to have your style. That's your brand. Give example, Steve Jobs, right? So when he was alive, his outfit is iconic. You
Hmm.
know, always turtleneck black sweater with a medium blue jeans with a
Hmm.
belt with the glasses. And he wears like that all the time. You know, if we have the rights to judge it from a fashion wise, it's boring, right? Wear the same clothes 24/7 for 365 days for the whole year. That's very boring. But he never cares about it. That's his brand. That's his sense of fashion. That's his sense of fashion. And if you really look into, celebrities, the famous people that have impact in the societies, no matter they have good impact or bad impact, there is always something pop up in their appearance. Donald Trump, the hair, the golden hair and the orange brown skin tone. You think it's ridiculous? I think it's ridiculous, but that's his brand. That's his brand. Do you think he really cares about how people commenting on his appearance? No, the hell he doesn't, right? So Amy Winehouse, he's like a extravaganza, like a cat wing eyeliners and the huge hair that she wore. Taylor Swift, the red lipsticks and the band, the golden hair and the band, red lipsticks. Every single famous person that's in this world, they have something signature on their appearance and they never apologize for how they look and what they like, it's always because if you do something different that makes you pop up, it makes you pop out of the general public, that makes you stand out, right? And I think the people who care about how others think too much, like the haters in your comment section, she probably cares about everyone else's opinion on her makeup than how much he care about how she feels, what she wants to do with her face. And that's why you see so many girls wearing, it's like they look like copy paste in the streets because all they care about is how to fit in with their peers and how to be accepted by the people around them. They're losing more part of themselves. Yeah, and that's the reason why. Like, if you don't have the mindset of I want to stand out in any kind of way, you're gonna be mixed in the general public forever because you don't have the mindset. You care about other people's opinion too that much instead of just being yourself.
I love all of that. I've been thinking about myself, about my own personal brand, because I was like, I need something different for myself to be very expressive. So, like, my makeup has evolved. Like, I used to be the one with really thick eyeliner at one
Mhm.
part, like college, that was all I did. I used to wear really heavy, like, strobe light highlighter was my thing. And I think now I'm in the blush. And I was like, thinking, like, I want to, like, create something for myself. Like, you're so right when it comes to celebrities, they're known for something. And I want to be also known for something. That's like so like Pratt does this all the time. And I was like,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
me. Because those that's so iconic to do that. And I think it's such a personal branding. When you're in a business, you have to have something that stands out. That's like, oh, like this is what she does and this is how because she wears eyeliner like this is a message to her business too. Like she does this way. Or like when someone thinks of me with like flowy skirts, oh my God, they think of Pratt and they think of what she's doing. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like it's just
Exactly.
something I want for myself and I just don't know what it is. And I'm like, that would be so fun to discover.
Yes, exactly. It's going to a very interesting journey to exploring what is the signature, thing for you. Like for me, I like leopard print. I
Mm.
have a leopard print blazers that I wear a lot to go to the office, and I have a pair of leopard print high heels that I wear from time to time go to the office. I have so many clothes in my closet is leopard prints. I can think at least three like signature items that I have leopard prints. I have a pair of flats that black and brown leopard prints or cheetah prints. Yeah, so that's my signature.
I
That's
love
what,
that. That's so
yeah,
good.
yeah, and I always smell good. I always smell good. I switch on the perfume, but I always smell good. So every time I come into the office, I walk into the hallway, right? People will know I was there. People will know I was there.
That is so
People was like,
smart.
"Oh my God, like a leopard print is such your thing. Like you have this, like it's matching." I feel good about myself. That's how people remember you, remember us, remember you as a individual, so you don't get blended in with the others. And yeah, and we're running our own businesses, we're entrepreneur. Branding ourselves and leave a strong impression is very important.
I love that. Like, especially perfume and like smells. I have a best friend in college who wore black opium. So every time I see black opium, I think of her because she wore every freaking day.
Exactly.
It's like such a like that's like so I just love it so much because you know memories. And then I always think about everything we did in college. I'm sure every time you're walking, they always think of you and everything like you've created, your business and everything. Like it's so smart. And it's just like so small, but it's just so like just I just love it. It's like small. Okay, I have to know the perfumes now.
I will share you the scents later. Yes.
This has been amazing. It's been a great talk. Thank you so
Yes.
much. You're my first guest. This is so fun. We went through many different topics. I had such a great time.
Yes.
We will definitely continue this. So, thank you so much.
No, thank you. Thank you giving me this opportunity to share my experience and my thoughts. And I hope that all the questions and an answer that we covered and discussed in this session can actually help more people and help them to have more strength and more wisdoms on their way of creating their own entrepreneurship and their own businesses. I truly hope so.
I
Yeah.
love it. I'm sure it will. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
I'll talk soon. Bye.
I will